Bob Woodward, State of Denial, Bush at War, Part 3. Embark on a journey through the intricate web of events, personalities, and motivations in A State of Denial, Bush at War, Part 3 by Bob Woodward. This summary explores the complicated decision to invade Iraq, delving into the roles various individuals played, such as George W. Bush, Donald Rumsfeld, and Colin Powell. It highlights the controversial belief in the existence of weapons of mass destruction, WMDs, in Iraq, the tensions between different U.S. government agencies, issues surrounding post-war reconstruction, and the internal struggles faced by key players. The summary disentangles the high-stakes game of politics, intelligence, and warfare to provide insight into one of the most consequential decisions in American history.
The complicated decision to invade Iraq. The decision to invade Iraq was influenced by past and present events, personalities, and motivations. President George W. Bush wanted to focus on Afghanistan after al-Qaeda's attacks on the World Trade Center, but Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld wanted to pursue unfinished business in Iraq. However, former President George H.W. Bush was one of the leaders who had reservations about invading Iraq. Along with tensions between the State Department and the Pentagon and the belief that Saddam Hussein had WMDs, the White House struggled to find evidence to support Bush's assertion that Iraq sought uranium in Africa for its atomic program. Despite top military officers not confirming the existence of WMDs in Iraq, the U.S. pushed ahead with their war plans. CIA Director George Tenet had named David Kaye as the CIA's WMD investigator in Iraq, but he only found old information or information based on a single source. Kaye concluded that they simply didn't exist. Bush asked Kaye why Saddam had perpetuated the charade that he had WMDs, to which Kaye responded that Saddam believed the U.S. would never actually invade, and he needed to keep his enemies in check. Chaos in Iraq. The reconstruction of Iraq after the war posed a significant challenge, and Rumsfeld initially failed to prioritize it. Garner and Abizaid recognized the need for an inclusive reconstruction plan, but Garner lacked the necessary resources and authority to create a comprehensive blueprint. Bremer's appointment worsened the situation when he ordered the dismissal of all Ba'ath Party members and disbanded the Ministries of Defense and Interior, leaving up to 300,000 Iraqi troops unemployed. Garner's pressure resulted in the preservation of the police force, but the army had to be disbanded and reconstructed. Chaos ensued, with the new army identical to the old one within a year. Bush's failure in Iraq. The book recounts George W. Bush's failures during the occupation of Iraq, including his failure to manage the government and oversee the reconstruction. The book claims that despite receiving warnings from senior officials, Bush chose to ignore the problems in Iraq and remained publicly optimistic about the situation. The book also highlights the failures of officials such as Rumsfeld and Bremer and their inadequacies in addressing the challenges of post-war Iraq.
In conclusion, the war in Iraq was a convoluted scenario with various factors and personalities shaping the decision-making process. Despite internal tension and a lack of clear strategy, the invasion was driven ahead based on unfounded assumptions such as the belief in WMDs in Iraq. The reconstruction efforts faced multitudes of challenges, with key players struggling to navigate an unstable environment and manage diverse expectations. Overall, State of Denial, Bush at War, Part 3, provides a remarkable glimpse into the complexities and consequences of one of the United States' most controversial overseas ventures.